Patrick.
Wayne Clark,
Yes.
Alderman Weigel.
Here.
Don Nero,
Here.
Mike Suter,
Here.
Richard Badger.
Present.
Yes, sir.
No.
Dana, yes,
Dana's up
Dana's-
or something. Excused.
one excuse.
Yeah.
One excuse. Oh, present.
She did call me Monday to go over the agenda.
Okay.
It's
First thing, is there any additions or corrections to the minutes of the previous meeting?
So moved.
All in favor, please say aye.
second is set. Thank you. Good.
Okay, first thing on the agenda, item. Resolution to consider professional service sole source contract with Luther Services to provide service coordination of a family self-sufficient program as part of the Housing Choice Voucher Program and Veterans Affairs Supporting Housing Program in the amount of $110,000. Patrick?
Mr. Chairman, what this is there is a strategic goal from the federal government of family self-sufficiency. So people who are enrolled in our Section 8 program are able to if they're able to better themselves, they're not penalized for being on the Section 8 program. So in other words, you can still get your rent assistance and then the money's saved for you to then maybe go buy a house or even buy a car to get to work or something like that. We partnered and contracted with Lutheran Social Services because it's kind of a federal requirement to be part of the voucher program to do this type of a program. We've had 35 participants in the FSS program. So there are people participating. We've had a couple graduates that have saved up money for a house. So I think we had one a few weeks ago that was able to graduate and get money for a down payment towards a house. So this tonight is we received a grant from the federal government to run the program. So in the past, we've been paying for the program out of our admin reserve for the Section 8 program. For each unit that we lease, we make admin money. It pays for our staff in the housing department. And then we actually have made money by operating efficiently. And with that, we're able to then fund the Lutheran Social Services to provide this service. So tonight is to approve a contract for them to continue this, but it will save our admin reserve and the grant will pay for these services. Now, we're seeking approval for this tonight, but we also are monitoring what's going on in Washington, D.C. on various programs.
Check's not here yet.
Well, this one could be here, but we may want to recalculate on how we deliver services, whether we go to do this contract or decide to do this internally. And what I mean by that is, if something should change drastically in funding levels for various programs, we're concerned about community development block grant. We're concerned about Section 8 admin payments. We're seeing cuts across the board. 84% of HUD staff has been told they will be eliminated. So the ability to deliver or get our money for various things to pay for the team we have is a concern. So if we instead use this money to pay somebody that we have here to do this and then realign their duties, it might be better than to do that internally than contracting out for it. We've actually been discussing this as a team, whether we should actually not go out for contract with it, but just have a person do FSS on our team. Some housing authorities do it that way, just internally. The thing is that it has to be separate from day-to-day operations of a voucher. You can't do one person's voucher and then go over and do FSS. The FSS person per HUD has to be separate from the administration of vouchers. I know I probably confused the heck out of you with all these federal rules and regulations, but.
Mr. Chair?
I'll go ahead, Alderman.
So this grant we have needs to be spent on that purpose,
yes,
but we don't need to contract with,
so we're just tonight, we're gonna approve it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna just hold off. And if we decide not to proceed with that, then we'll share what the plan is.
what the plan is going forward. Yeah.
I mean, we have 2 housing specialists that do the day-to-day operations for the voucher. And if something should drastically change, we could have one person then do different team members could do voucher work versus block grant work,
Right.
and then do FSS separately. So, instead of, but you know what I mean, readjusting or eliminating staff.
And this 110, was that supposed to be a year?
That is a year, that's an
a year.
annual.
So we could get an FTE out of that.
Correct. Yes.
And does this job really require an
Each year you
FTE?
have to apply for the funding.
Yeah.
to,
And this work, is it really an FTE or is it kind of?
Oh, yeah, it's a
Okay.
lot of.
I thought maybe it was like 7.75 or something. No.
It could be some of that too,
Yeah.
but, we just need to evaluate that as we, look at it. But we just want as staff shared that we might need flexibility. And at this time, we're seeking this approval, but on March 14th, there's a continuing funding resolution. We might know about where money is supposed to be, but I have had more LinkedIn requests from HUD people in the last week.
They're all looking for work.
I mean, it's just concerning, right?
Scary.
Something's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we don't know exactly. Usually we get a letter by this time about our block grant program or housing programs, about how much we're getting. We haven't seen any of that.
Well, the post office across the street's been closed a lot. Have you caught that?
No.
Yeah. The post office across the street's been closing early or closed for a whole day. This one here.
The one in Red River also.
Oh, really? I don't get it. That's my post
No,
office, but
There's just something different.
Yeah.
And we just need to be flexible or fluid. And we're gonna communicate this as staff to the next common council meeting too. But we just need contingency plans.
I move approval.
Second.
Good move approval and second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Resolution passes. Item number 3, communication audit report of Beloit Road Senior Apartments LLC submitted by Baker Tilly US LLP. Patrick?
Just want to share with the authority here tonight. I have on the screen the snapshot out of the audit on where things are at. The loss that you see is really, it's on paper loss. It's payments that would come to us on money that we already we would waive in exchange for getting the property back. So it's just an accounting process. Now, I do want to point out that there are, and the auditors they have nothing in their write-up, but I attached it online.
Yeah.
The audit, and the letter's fine, and
Yeah.
no fraud, no issues. However, there are issues. And what I mean, and I've alerted this to the CDA before, our costs, we have an expense problem at Beloit Road. I mean, I just don't want to be an alarmist about it, but it is.
Something has to happen.
And we had a call with the tax credit investor within the last 2 weeks. So I've asked Ogden to prepare a list per property of what issues there are that I can see, instead of just coming into a meeting and say, you need 2 roofs on this building. By the way, the drywall's coming in, railings on steps are falling. They've been calling a sewer company to come out, clean out the lateral on a couple of buildings, and they're coming back with clay.
Oh,
These are 1940 properties. But the issue is, so we have project-based vouchers there. The rental rate is calculated based on, you might recall, the CDA approves a payment standard. That payment standard is how we set the rent then that can be at Beloit Road. So we've enacted an increase in the rent, which won't go into effect till July because of just the timing on things. You can see here we're at 871, it would go up to 950.
you.
That's a $71 increase, but
When was the last time rent went up, do you know?
more than $70 increase. Each year we've been going up.
Okay.
So we have, if you go back to the other slide, if you take a look here at our revenue net rental income, 108,000, et cetera, you can see the rent expense and our net revenue income of 965. So we went up over 2023. So we're paying on vacant units. We're trying to get units turned over, following all of the federal rules. We increased the rent, but then, the cost to remove snow.
Right.
Insurance has doubled, and this is industry wide. And you might see it on your business expense or homeowners insurance as well. Insurance has become a big industry issue. So we're reviewing every cost we can, look at ways how to streamline things and figure out with the tax credit investor how to pay these things. There is a operating reserve that we have of 300 and some thousand that we did get authority to dip into to do one row. Okay, we have two more to do. They took so long to approve that now I have to replace the ceilings in the units, our team.
Right.
Because of the mold and the moisture wrecked the ceilings. So, there's not extra cash. We can't just go, oh, let's double the rent. And there's not really a lot, there's not a huge budget here to cut. So, we did appeal the taxes back when the assessment came out on the property. So, I hate that we had to do that. Still seems high, but yeah, I think by 2027 is the year we can, sell the
We
property.
still have a couple years
We
left.
just don't have a lot of room, nothing, we're thinking this is gonna be this windfall of cash.
It's not,
It may not be, in fact, it might just be relief.
yes.
Now, the thing is that, and we've discussed this before, but I think we're gonna have this discussion again fairly soon, is what is the ultimate goal if we do try to sell it? Somebody has to still maintain it as affordable, but it may become owned by a nonprofit. And do we want it to be senior, or what certain things, and we just have to think long-term about Bullitt Road. It's been as part of the city since the 40s. Just that going forward, we don't have painters, we'd had still contract out for management if we
Yeah.
wanted the property back.
Yeah.
But the idea of paying $100 and some thousand in taxes, you can see how that can impact the cash flow with such low rents. So.
So what is the long-term vision for that? I mean, does it need to stay housing?
Groups like Impact 7, groups like, it has to stay housing for another 15 years as affordable.
15 more
Yeah,
years?
for the tax credit
Okay,
agreement. So,
The thing you think about is there's a lot of stairs
yeah,
for seniors.
Yeah.
Is that the best fit, things like that.
yeah,
and then we have stairs that go up outside
Yeah.
everywhere that need to be hand shoveled,
yeah,
which having a snow removal company come out and manually have to shovel, that's increasing our costs. So everywhere you look, it's like another cost that, and I'm not saying it's total, because you can see our profit, but it's just, we're not paying on our note either.
Right.
So
What was the end result of your tax appeal?
it went down slightly. Not like maybe $17,000.
I mean, the taxes or the value?
The value.
The value went down.
That's not $17,000, but, I had Chris Moan and myself from finance went and met with Jason and, yes. Well, we followed the rules. I filed the appeal.
How many units are there?
There's 104.
And they ones and twos?
Well, they are one bedrooms.
They're all one bedrooms.
Yes. You might recall they were two bedrooms, but we took the closet door off. Because in order to get this to meet the project-based voucher,
Yeah,
like, if you're only gonna get approved for a single unit. With the project-based voucher based on the typical people that were living there.
yeah,
If we switch to the two bedrooms, a lot of people won't qualify to be a project-based voucher. Because they're a single occupancy.
Right.
So then. That poses another challenge.
so they're all one bedrooms and they're all single occupants, or some of them are married couples?
Some of them are married couples, yeah.
I'm just curious, what's,
'Cause I don't have a current profile.
no, I just
I can get that.
ballpark, no, I was just,
But I just wanted to share that the audit came through clean and a very good report, but there are sharks below the water,
This doesn't require any action.
not tonight. It's just approval of the audit. I think just that you've received it and placed on file.
I move that we approve the audit.
Okay.
second,
Moved in second. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Passes. Please audit on file. Thank you. Do you want to do 4, 5, and 6, or do you want to go in a closed session form and then do?
We have to bring up each item in open session.
Okay, all right.
Before we go into closed session, we got some new guidance from the city attorney. There's a recent court case.
Okay.
So we have to state why we would be going into closed session on each particular item as well in open session.
Okay, thank you. And then we'll go to item 4, discussion on the status of the Markers Road development. Patrick, you have the floor.
Turn this one over to Sean.
So, as you recall from the last meeting, we happily have, sold this property to Robert Bonnet. And he's the proud owner of Makers Row. He's working through with various tenants on trying to fill this space. And, because there's some, confidential negotiating aspects to it, we would like to discuss some of those details in closed session.
All right, any further questions regarding that until we go into closed session? All right, we'll hold that for closed session. We'll go to item number 5, discussion of the status of 1405 South 92nd Street. Patrick, you have the floor.
Again, this is the former St. Al's site. And because there's negotiations and things moving between parties on that site, we'd like to talk about that in closed session.
Any other questions? If not, we'll hold that for closed session. We'll go to item number 6, discussion on 6500 West Washington Street, former motor casting site. Patrick, you have the floor again.
As I brought up, I've been bringing this property up at various CDA meetings. It's the former motor casting site. There is ongoing interest in negotiations and aspects of this for redevelopment that we'd like to talk about in closed session.
All right, any other questions before we go into closed session for item number 6? If not, we'll go to closed session.
Well, we can go there. We just want to do this and get an open
Okay,
session. 6771. The Kearney Checker property. We sent out a marketing brochure through the Card W, which is the Commercial Association of Realtors of Wisconsin. So we sent out over 600 emails to the members of that organization. And we are getting walkthroughs. We've given a tour today. We've had a national tenant come through a couple of weeks ago. We have another tour Friday, as well as there's some other negotiation going on with Palm and some other interests. So it's a full marketing effort. I think I have a picture of the slide in here. We broadened the users that could possibly be part of that property. So we've always been focused on event space, and it seems like that has not materialized. There was a large user that was very interested. 2 of them now that have gone down the part of giving LOI terms and have found other locations that economically were much cheaper or free. So it's hard to compete against, people going, hey, I give you a great deal on the space if you take it.
Well, and they're probably finding spaces that are ready to move into versus 2 years out.
2 years out.
Yeah.
So that's been a little bit of our challenge. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We have the brochure.
It's not,
Maybe I put it in closed. There. Huh. I thought I put a picture there, but anyways, I actually have it. If you're interested, I printed a couple extra of the brochures upstairs. I just did not bring those down, and I can run up and get those after the meeting.
okay, thank you. Before we go ahead, Mr.
So
Sir.
this remains a marketing joke. We've been at this, what, 8 years?
Is it
I don't know if
8
It's
years?
been that long.
Well, okay, we'll give you a break, 7 years.
It was before
It
COVID.
was before COVID. That's 5 right there. COVID's now 5 years.
It's a very difficult deal to put together,
Yeah.
and if you look at the Couture downtown on the lakefront, that took 10 years. So, we are actively bringing brokers through. People have expressed interest, and we've had people fly in and given a tour. So it's not, Sean has taken people through, I've taken people through. There's interest. We just got to get to the economics on these negotiations, and a couple of them have expressed they want to go to the next step. So today was a beverage company that walked through. And they are already in existence. They're in 7 states with their beverage, and inquired about maybe a tasting room, tours, et cetera. So these aren't things that you can't just ignore. I mean, it's the opportunity to get the building done. So I think this is part of the plan to see if this can materialize. And if this doesn't, I mean, we have an idea of where we can have an open house, bring brokers in. We're getting inquiries and getting interest. It just, we just gotta get to the economics, the next stage of the discussions now with a few prospects. But it's, if we could have a few more months to do that, I think that would really benefit, so.
Before we go into closed session, how about item number 7, consideration relative to report on redevelopment? Is there any other questions regarding any of those from the gentleman here?
Yeah, bring that list up, just to remind us.
I don't know if you've gone by the Land by Label site. That's, Jerry had a great picture of the pumping in the footings on that particular development. That's in the TIF 16. And then TIF 20, which I don't know if we put on there yet. 6400 block of West Greenfield, that's all sold and closed, and the spot is no more. And Crawdaddy's is gone, and they're digging out for the townhomes, and so that project is moving along, so.
What's it's called Union Green?
Union Green.
Union Green.
So any other items you wanna?
No further questions, then we'll leave the, here. For agendas 4 to 6, the committee convene in closed session. Further to the provisions of section 19.85/1/E, the state statutes for the purpose of delivering the investing public funds whenever competitive bargaining reasons require a closed session. The committee can convene in open sessions after completion of closed session to consider the balance of the agenda. Can I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
In a second.
Second,
Would you take roll call, please?
Wayne Clark,
Yes.
Alderman Weigel,
yes.
Don Niemer,
Yes.
Mike Suter,
Yes.
Richard Badger. Yes. Motion passes.
We are now in closed session. You forgot me, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Jerry Monahan. Did I forget you before too?
Yeah, I think you did.
Oh, my God.
Patrick, you have the floor. Which item do you want to start?